Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop self-sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stress to success as my little gift to you just for being here. Please do subscribe, share and review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you'll also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, printables, programs. You can find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I'm here for it. So that's the formalities over, my love. So let's jump to the content. Without exception, nobody has it together all the time. So why do you think you have to? What does it even mean to have your stuff together? I'm going to say stuff instead of the usual word because I don't want to have to tap the expletive button on Apple. But you know what I'm saying here. What does it even mean to you to have your stuff together? Like, that's going to look different for everyone. For me, personally, it's about resilience. I look at it quite differently. It's not necessarily about having everything you ever wanted, all your ducks in a row, but it's knowing you're working towards it, even if there are a few bumps and bruises along the way. So what is it for you? Grab your journal and really, really get into it and write down what having your stuff together really means and looks like for you. Feel free to pause. I'll wait. Did you do it? Probably didn't. Come back to it. Do it later. But now look at what you've written. Is it actually realistic by any stretch of the imagination? Do you know anyone personally, not on the interwebs, who meets the criteria that you're trying to put yourself under? I wonder what these people, if you do have those people, I wonder what they would say if you told them that's how you see them. Do you think they'd just say thanks? Or do you think it's more likely they'll turn around and go, oh my God, I do not have my stuff together. Dude, absolutely not. You know, these are the day-to-day assumptions that wreak havoc on our self-esteem, self-worth and mental health and need to be challenged and picked apart. This is the consciousness piece, right? This is the self-awareness piece. This is watching out for that pesky little unconscious programming and seeing what it's actually doing to you. Because if we can remove the immense pressure we put on ourselves, how different would things look? Do you think you might be more accepting? More forgiving towards yourself? Kinda? If you have a more realistic outlook of what having your stuff together really means? I describe myself as someone who has their stuff together even when they don't have their stuff together. But what do I mean by that? Again, it comes back to how I look at it. For me, having your stuff together actually means knowing and recognizing when you don't. Then being able to do what you need to do to prioritize yourself and your own well-being. To do the things that you know are good for you and know that everything is going to work out just fine. So really, I see it as not having your stuff together at all. So it's quite freeing when you think about it. But right now, on paper, if you were to look at my life, I do not have my stuff together at all. At all. Pretty much every key area of my life is in flux or limbo, as I've been saying. And I've been doing a tremendous amount of #adulting. I've moved to my parents. I'm getting divorced. There's a lot going on. I've had my lovely little brush with my naughty mole on my leg, which is healing nicely for all of you who've asked. Yeah, I don't have it together. There are so many things I don't have control over right now, because you can never have control over other people, right? No matter how much you might like to. And being accepting of that is a skill you can learn. Trust me on this. So, as a 39-year-old woman, that doesn't sound like I have my stuff together, right? But there's tons of stuff I haven't said yet, but the amount of huge things that I've been through this year is bananas and unpredicted, right? I didn't know this was going to be the way that life looked a year ago, 2 years ago. But so many people have said to me things like, how do you have such a positive outlook on this? Or how are you so calm? You seem like you're in a really good place and you're handling it really well. Because I am. Most of the time. I'm very, very honest that there are many, many human moments along the way. There have been days where things have seemed really hopeless. And even when I've said that, I knew I didn't really mean it. And I was just having a human moment. And they are allowed. It was never hopeless. It has never been hopeless. Because more often than not, there are days where all I see is possibility. Even when it feels like you're taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back half the time. All I see is the opportunity and the growth and potential. And I find that magical. But that's me. And I have a belief that it tends to be out of the hardest things that come the best things. And I hold on to that. I'm thankfully, and this was not always the case by any stretch of the imagination, nowadays I'm a very, very self-aware person. And I always approach things with curiosity over judgment. And sometimes other people have a harder time with my emotions than I do, because they don't know how to handle them. But that doesn't matter. I don't judge them for that. But I also don't take on that opinion just because it's theirs, right? I don't push away my emotions because I know that's the quickest way through them and to process them. I let them out in all their ugly cry glory, right? But never ever tell yourself that they shouldn't be there, because they are all clues and messages for something that needs to be dealt with head on, or it's just going to stick around and get louder until you pay attention. You got to feel it to heal it. Stupid phrase, but it's so true. You have to allow those emotions to come out. It's an outlet. It's a release. Cortisol gets released in your tears. Like, it's a literal emotional regulation technique, right? It's far, far, far too easy to look at the curated versions of people on the internet and make huge assumptions that they have it good all the time. They don't. I promise you that. They're dealing with the same amount of humanity as you and I are. They are lying if they say otherwise. It's about how you look at and recover from these moments. That is the difference that makes the difference. And that's what you're looking for. That resilience, that ability to bounce back, that ability to allow the emotions to be there and then gain perspective on them and then choose what you're going to do next. It's not the absence of them or to have your stuff together all the time. It doesn't matter how much you know or how many years you spend training in various modalities or whatever, you will always have human moments, thoughts, beliefs, and reactions. We've just been programmed for far too long that these things are undesirable. And it's, as always, completely nuanced and individual, because we all have different unconscious programming and experiences. So how could people with all of that going on ever look at things in exactly the same way? They don't. There's always nuance to it. That's why you've got to take a deep dive into your own psyche. This is where values, opinions, beliefs all come into play and make you the beautiful, perfectly imperfect, flawed and nuanced individual that you are. And that should be celebrated. All of this unconscious stuff that we add on top is what causes the issues. And when you can look at that with honesty and curiosity about what's there, what stories, beliefs, thoughts, and attitudes are underneath the feelings, that's where you can create huge change and start to feel like you got your stuff together even when you don't have your stuff together. So much of what we really, really want in life is actually about acceptance. We have to accept ourselves first in all our glorious humanity, right? So be kind to yourself today and just see what happens. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then join the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community so you can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to join the toolkit or book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram, and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now because you can. I'm here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful and I'll see you next week. Bye.